Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Xenonauts 1. I did have somebody ask in the comments, is this Xenonauts 1 or 2? Yeah, no, this is the first game, not the second one. I don't have access to the second game, and it's probably not coming out until maybe next year if I was to make a guess. Just going by some comments that I've seen of people posting. It needs some more polish and some features are apparently being rebalanced, I guess, so yeah. Let's go ahead and hop back in. I already got my timer started. There we go. Advanced Caisson Analysis. Commander, the Caissons have stepped up their game. We have seen a marked improvement in the quality of Caisson troops in the field to the point where national armies are completely overwhelmed. Reports are filtering through of soldiers complaining of headaches, irrational bursts of dread, and similar physiological and psychological phenomena in the presence of Caissons other than the previously identified Scion. I am extremely concerned that psionic abilities may be more widely spread than what I had previously thought, but we don't have enough data to be sure. Recorded below is the latest information on these new Caissons, warriors/elites, which are these purple and red dudes here that don't have a helmet. Like the Siblings, the Caissons have their own cadres of veterans and special forces, although I have a sneaking suspicion that Caissons can simply force-grow troops like these to order. They wear visible body armor. In the case of elites, they wear what we would consider to be full body armor. With distinctive angular shoulder pads, they carry the nastiest weapons, including the dreaded plasma cannon. The warrior's armor is colored a subtle violet, and the elite's armor is colored red. Officers and leaders, this is the guy we captured last time. The only members of the Caisson army to wear headgear. Most reports of unusual psychological occurrences center on officers, especially when the officer is sighted. If you can obtain samples of intact helmets, I'd appreciate it. There may be something about the helmet, some device that is causing these effects, and it might be adapted to our own armor. The more common officer wears a mostly blue suit of armor, while the leader wears a red suit similar to the elite. Landing ship UFO. The landing ship is a medium-sized alien craft with an unusually large crew. Is it really? There wasn't that many aliens. Though bulkier and more powerful than the Corvette, this saucer-shaped craft is actually primarily a transport vessel. The saucer is split into a bridge on the upper level and a cargo hold on the lower level, comfortably large enough to accommodate a terror squad or even the equipment we believe would be required to establish a permanent alien facility on the surface of our planet. These two rooms are joined by a pair of teleportation devices that instantaneously transport any unit that steps onto one of the platforms over to the other. Despite studying them extensively, we still have no idea how these devices function. Almost interestingly is the armor plating on the exterior of the ship. It requires immense firepower to crack one of these vessels open, which we assumed was due to more extensive armor plating, but troublingly, the landing ship actually has much less armor plate than the Corvette. We have taken samples of the hardened plate for further study. The vessel's primary weapon is just a scaled-up version of the cannon on the Corvette, but it also possesses a smaller rapid-fire secondary weapon that packs sufficient punch to make a frontal approach inadvisable. Oh, yes. Indochina. Indochina. Send somebody up here again. Okay. Central America, send somebody out to, Greenland. I may actually send the, one of our Chinooks out there. The one from the North Africa base. Once we have, built the new transport, I'll unload everybody off of it and then send it out there, potentially. It has a lot more fuel, so it maybe will be able to detect the aliens. Okay, there's a bomber data core. Oh, they landed a UFO wherever the hell that is in Canada. And he's gonna get away. I really want to take this thing out, but Central America is currently busy. Still refueling. There we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send the Central America guys out there. Hopefully they'll have enough fuel to hang around for when it takes off to shoot it down immediately. And that is a small enough ship that I think you guys can take that without too much of a hassle. Obviously, we're going to wait until daytime. But I think you guys might be able to take care of that. I really do. You know, at least in theory, you should be able to. If you can't, there's something wrong with that team. Okay, let's see how this goes. Come on. It's not that big of a map, realistically. Now, these guys do have the Hunter now. For, you know, whatever that's going to be worth. Okay. It's going to be up here-ish. If I had to make a guess. Okay, and 4, 5, and 6 are going to head down and take this southern approach. 1, 2, and 3 are going to take this northern approach. They will have the Hunter to back them up because this is a much wider area compared to what the second team's going to be dealing with. And I'm not going to send it straight down the center of the road without any infantry support. Because, you know, surprise, surprise, that doesn't tend to work out well for tanks. Or in this case, an armored car, but, you know, it's minor difference. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I need somebody to kill that thing. Because the hunter kind of fluffed it. Or flubbed it. Whatever. God, I always get that wrong. Okay, it ran away. Good. I don't think it's killed anybody yet. We're going to have the hunter chase it down. Because I can't have that thing living. I just can't. And yeah, you're going to have to go the long way around. Okay. Claire, you take the corner. I think Eric here is our highest ranking guy in this team. Eric, you keep watching the road for now. And somebody just got killed by the Reaper. Okay, and I don't have eyes on that, and if I tell you to shoot right now, there's a half-decent chance you'll end up hitting our own guys. Okay, somebody's behind us. Admittedly, with the hunter killing everybody, nobody's really gaining much in the way of XP. And I kind of forgot to move Dieter, I think, a couple times. I think that's the only one there. I think at this point we basically have to push up this way. Somebody else just got killed. And there's a zombie. Okay, you suppressed it, which is helpful. I would have preferred a kill, but I'd always prefer a kill. Kills are always better. Yeah, these guys have like no fucking movement points. Okay, you weren't quite able to kill it. Just kind of a shame, because I was really hoping you would. And that rock is blocking your shot well enough that you have, like, no chance of even fucking hitting the giant red barrels. Like, I don't mind if you literally blow this entire thing up. Do it. It's perfectly fine with me. In fact, it is in many ways almost preferred free to just blow the whole damn thing up. Okay, Eric, I'm relying on you to kill that guy if he comes around that corner. Because the hunter ain't gonna reaction fire. Now, I think 2 civilians were killed. Okay, I think that'll make that 3 now. Okay. Main issue is that we're literally sending rookies out on their own. I really don't like sending rookies out on their own. If I can avoid it. Just saw the thing again. Oh shit! Behind us. Oh, I think that one is an armed force. Fuck. Okay. Okay, you managed to kill that one. Wonderful. Okay, well, I can... Since that dude looked like he was armed, I can... hope that this south side is clear. You didn't kill it. Okay, he's gonna set up shop in that corner. Okay, now, Claire, I need you to try and heal yourself a little bit. The last of the aliens should be inside the UFO. I don't think there's going to be any more Reapers. I think that'll have been the last of them. Of the zombies, of the Reapers, all of them. Unless there's any inside the UFO, of course, but I don't think so. I would assume that the AI for Reapers is set up to go out there and kill as much shit as you can before you die. I don't think you can go that way realistically, so go this way. You may not even be able to actually approach the UFO at all. Which would suck. Because I like having that support. But no, it looks like you will once Joe gets out of the way. Yeah, I think the last are all going to be inside the UFO now, so we can sort of push fairly freely. Because I think we would have seen anybody if there was anybody up here in this area where Eric just walked up to. Okay, there's one dude at the door. And Claire doesn't quite have the movement points to actually push all the way to the next bit of cover, which is annoying. Come on. Come on, Dieter. I need you to reaction fire him. There we go. I don't know why you were seemingly reluctant to do that. Let's go ahead and have Claire push up just a little. She's going to take Eric's spot, which I think will allow her to get close. Okay, not needed anymore. I was going to say that I think will allow her to get close enough to get to this bit of cover, and it does in fact allow that. It's just not needed anymore. Now the issue is we only have one team that's actually any good at all. And that's Dieter's team of Dieter, Claire, and Eric. The rest of them straight up lack time units to, you know, be particularly useful. Realistically, I probably should have waited until I had this all cleared out. Oh shit. I saw you there, buddy. I saw you. Okay, there's another dude somewhere. There's another dude somewhere, and I don't fucking know where he is. That is actually slightly worrying. There we go. He was in that corner. Okay, so that actually went fairly well. Obviously, no surviving civilians except for the one local force, so the dude who owned a shotgun in this area and was able to get to it. For all I know, the other three all owned shotguns as well. They just weren't able to get to them in time before they got absolutely murdered. So Claire's going to be in the hospital for 4 days with injuries because she got a zombie to the back of the head. But let's see. Dieter gets promoted to lieutenant. Emil gets promoted to corporal alongside Joe Chan here. It was, you know, pretty good, actually. Bombing run mission. R&D was able to extract and translate a flight plan from the wreckage of the ET bomber shot down and has passed it over to us. We've mapped the route, and it intersects with the industrial zones of several cities as well as a classified base. The timing is too tight and the site's too large for ground landings, but adequate for a string of rapid airstrikes culminating with a heavy raid on the base. Commander, it looks like the ETs are going to step up their air campaign. We can expect ET bombers to target strategic, economic, and civilian targets of significance, but with a whole planet to pick from, it's going to be difficult to predict where they're going to strike. If this flight plan is any indication, it looks like they'll be tasked with hitting several minor targets and then prep for a major raid, which will expose them to attack by our interceptors. Bombers are very likely to be escorted and will be a medium-class signal or larger. Look for medium signals with flight plans that focus on specific targets but don't land. Predicted casualties from a bombing run are expected to be the hundreds, so shut them down as a priority, Commander. We can always send a team to deal with ground landings, but bombing runs can only be intercepted. There we go. Okay, unassign you. Unassign all of you. Go back here, assign you to the Shrike. I'll deal with assigning the rest of the ground forces later. For now, I'm actually going to go ahead and send a Charlie 1 out here. It has a bit of its own detection radius, and it has a shit ton more fuel, and thus should be able to actually do a bit of a patrol pattern across Greenland. On the off chance they set up a base there. I don't actually know for certain. I just assume they have. Because they normally have in all of my previous sort of personal campaigns. Bomber UFO. The extraterrestrial bomber is a medium-sized UFO specialized into a ground attack role. Though easy prey for our interceptors, it can quickly rain death and destruction on a funding nation and sour our relations accordingly. It employs two linked electromagnetic torpedo launch tracks to do so, forming a semicircular structure on the rear half of the saucer. Each torpedo is powered enough to sink a ship, or is powerful enough to sink a ship, and we believe the bomber are capable of launching a pair every 6 seconds, making casualties from any strafing run a virtual certainty. But thankfully, they are unguided and travel too slowly to be of any practical use against aerial targets, making the bomber vulnerable in combat. The entire craft has been designed around these weapons. The thin wings jutting out from either side of the saucer are likely intended to stabilize the craft during an attack run, while the saucer itself is largely hollow and presumably mostly used for ammunition storage. The Harridan pilot, craft reactor, and avionics are all crammed into a small area at the front. We actually believe that this is the reason why little of these UFOs survives an interception, as the remaining torpedoes tend to detonate either immediately or on impact with the ground. In short, the bomber is an underwhelming combatant, but one that must be dealt with quickly. And actually set you guys back to making jackal armor. Medium UFO. Send you guys out to go and intercept that. Holy shit, we got a lot of medium UFOs popping up. Holy shit. Okay, January's gonna be a busy month, it looks like. I'm gonna airstrike that one. The airspace is way too busy, and you guys are gonna return to base, because by the time you get there, you're gonna be out of fuel anyway. Oh, nope, just send the condors. Ah, that is such a small thing that I can deal with it so damn easily. Okay, let's send you to the Shrike. Send you to the Shrike. Send you. Send you. Load you up. Put Billy Bob in. Irina can go, of course. And the question is, do we bring Ruri or Now? Ruri needs a lot of training. Now also needs a lot of training, particularly with strength, because she's kind of slowed down. But she's not going to slow us down as much as Ruri would right now. So I think we're going to go with Now. Okay, and I need to reorganize all of you guys because, God, this is a giant clusterfuck. And by reorganize you guys, I think that actually already did a pretty decent job. Or not, because actually it is way the fuck out of order. So, shield, assault, and 2 rifles is going to be the loadout. So, there's a shield, there's an assault, there's a rifle, there's a rifle. Okay, we'll do it like that, and we'll just hope this is actually the right order. As seen on the battlescape. Whoops, I actually wanted you guys to go home. I wanted to select the crashed UFO. We're going to go ahead and take care of this thing before we end this part. Yeah, so airstriking gives you as much money as if you actually attacked it yourself, but it doesn't give you any of the experience. Okay, there's a civvy. Okay. There was a civvy. Pull back a little bit from the corner so he hopefully actually comes around. But we know what we're fighting this time now. Because this is a small enough UFO that usually, I think there has been some exceptions, but usually there's only the one alien species. Larger UFOs can have multiple species sometimes, which is, you know, always fun. Okay, and we found the UFO itself. So that's going to be useful. I think we heard an alien get killed somewhere. I don't know where, though. Really? I'm surprised you weren't able to do two aimed or an aimed shot and a normal shot, Irina. I think I forced you to do a snapshot because you actually somehow didn't have quite enough time units. Unless I'm thinking of Lucia, who manages to be able to do like that. But I thought Irina could too, but, you know, it's been a little while. I think since we've actually sent Irina out on a mission, so I might be misremembering. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure there's nobody in there because we probably would have already been shot at if there was. Have Antonio, or Antonia start making a push for the UFO. Oh, one of them might have died from the smoke or from fire. Yes, that might have been what happened. Somebody might have gotten killed by smoke or fire. Okay, everybody else is basically going to go ahead and start making a push towards the UFO because we don't really need to have everybody else hang around as they are. Yeah, Billy Bob, go ahead and push. Lucia will push next to you. Although I'm actually going to move her over one more spot. That way there's a bit more of a gap in case they, you know, wanted to throw a grenade. I actually used just a little bit too much movement on you. As far as I know, there's nobody in this courtyard from what we saw, but this guy, depending on how many time units he has, he may attempt to make a push there. Great job, Billy Bob. Nope, he decided he was going to waste his shot to get away on trying to shoot the scimitar. Which I'm fine with. Now, presumably, nobody else is going to approach the door now. So I can start having the shield peeps push up. I'm not sure if there's actually a breach in the side of the hole there, so we're not going to go around that side. Just on the off chance there is. Okay. Antonia, you move to your spot. Lucy, you move to your spot. Natalie, you're gonna move in. Natalie's not gonna be able to shoot at all if somebody opens up a door. Arena, you move there. Okay, we got one dude off on the right here. Okay, suppressed him, wonderful. I'm a little surprised that it actually, worked. If I'm being completely honest, I really, really didn't expect that to work. Okay, I think that was Lucy. Or no, not Lucy. That was Antonia, who attempted to make some shots that I don't know why she thought that would work. Just, yeah, make sure nobody was behind there. I don't need a surprise. Are they not going to come out? There we go. I can't tell how many are in there. Okay. Shield peeps, move to your corners. There we go. Okay, there was a local force somewhere, but he got killed. And we did see the civilian get killed. Sophie and Lucia both earned the service medal for participating in 10 combat missions, and Lucy gets promoted to sergeant, Natalie to captain, and Irina to major. Okay, we're going to go ahead and have the Charlie return to base, and I'm going to actually, I think, transfer it over to Indochina. Of fucking course. As soon as I send the crew out there to go and try and take care of that guy, he decides, nope, I'm going to land. Screw you. Plasma weaponry. Go and stop my timer before it goes off. We've been studying captured alien plasma weapons from the very start of the war, but we have always lacked enough understanding of the technology to weaponize it effectively. However, in recent times, we have come close enough that we can bridge the gap between the favored technique of the intellectually deficient, imitation. This has allowed us to build a functioning copy of the graviton emitter that had stemmed our progress up to this point. Given our detailed understanding of the plasma accelerator that converts the energy into a plasma bolt, and the electromagnet spiral that shapes the bolt, we were able to use trial and error until we stumbled onto a working configuration of the three components. The small adjustments to the relative scale and distance between these three components allows us to generate plasma bolts with subtly different properties, thus thus producing different weapons. These plasma weapons are a straightforward upgrade to our These plasma weapons are a straightforward upgrade for our existing laser weapons, inflicting heavier damage whilst maintaining similar range and accuracy. In most other respects, they behave much like their predecessors. But finally, I discovered recently that the Nobel Prize panel does not qualify submissions if the scientific advances in question have been stolen from extraterrestrials rather than humans. I estimate I am now owed at least 6 of them, and would greatly appreciate it if you could use these new plasma weapons to keep Stockholm safe until the end of the war. We'll see about that. Let's go ahead and get the heavy plasma weapons so that we can get better weapons for our interceptors. Okay, so how many plasma rifles do I need? I need 4, 5. Just for now. Oh. Wrong spot. And I need 3 pistols. And just the 2 carbines for right now. Let's go ahead and stop producing those, start producing the rifles. Sell that jackal armor for a little of extra cash. Oh yes, and transfer this selenium and the alien alloys to the North Africa base. Because, well, they're the ones who need it. Yep, that guy's going to be allowed to just do what he wants. Presumably, this guy should be taking off in the nearish future. Wonderful, and I'm just going to airstrike it. We're going to wait for the items to arrive at the North Africa base, and then we will end this part. There we go. Now, actually, what is it? How much of this requires? Okay, so it only requires the alien alloys for these, which is actually nice. Now, I couldn't recall if plasma weapons needed alenium for whatever reason. Okay. Now, oh yes. Yes. Charlie 1, relocate to Indochina. Let's wait for you to arrive, and then we'll end the part. This is going to go a bit longer, because, you know, why not? There we go. Okay. Now, the question is, do I want to build the Corsair Interceptors? Because, I mean, they're pricey on alenium. And one thing that should be noted, if you want to get lots of alenium, you need to go and assault landed UFOs. If you assault one that has been shot down, you're not going to get the full amount of alenium. Doubly so if you end up blowing up the reactor during the fight. But I think even if the reactor is blown up from the crash, you still get a little bit. But it's not a whole lot. I think it's like maybe 1 or 2, depending upon the size of the UFO you shot down. So we need to, if we want to get lots and lots of alenium, we need to go for the really big UFOs. And particularly, we need to go for them when they land. So if we can attack like a landing ship that has landed, that will give us a hefty amount of alenium. But we are actually being held back, I think, in our ability to intercept enemies. because we're still using the, God, what are they? The Condors as our light fighter, I guess would be the best way to describe it. So, yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and queue up a Corsair. And it'll get built at some point. It is 120 man days to build. So it's a little bit longer than a single plasma rifle. You know what? Yeah, we're going to transition to building the Interceptor first, for the simple reason that our laser weapons are doing okay still. The plasma weapons are going to be a fairly significant step up. And that's something you'll notice in general, is when you upgrade to the next tier of weapons, it's always a fairly substantial step up in how effective your units are. They can survive more hits with the better armor. They can, kill enemies faster with the more advanced weapons. But yeah, our laser weapons are still doing okay, so we'll let them run for a bit longer. We'll get these Corsair Interceptors out to replace our Condors, which will be straight up decommissioned. We're not going to ship them off to another base. It literally does us no good to do that. The Corsair, I think it did note this in the Xenopedia, and if it didn't, I will note it myself. Okay, yeah, it does. It has 2 cannon hardpoints. It does not use missiles. It only uses the cannons. Which, admittedly, the cannons are still pretty damn good even on their own. But yeah, it doesn't have any missiles whatsoever. It is pure cannon, which will still be fine. The main thing, our main issue, is that we have very limited loiter time because these Condors don't have a whole lot of fuel. The game doesn't, note how much fuel they carry anywhere, annoyingly. I mean, we get their range of 13,200 kilometers. This thing's 7,600 kilometers more, putting it on par with the Foxtrot, which, has a decent amount of time that it can loiter around an area. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons why we need to go for replacing our Interceptors finally. I mean, the Condors are okay. They really are. They function, but we'll have an easier time intercepting UFOs if we replace them. At the very least at our main base. The secondary bases, I think they're just going to stay with the Condors for now. When we inevitably replace the Corsairs at the main base with the next set of fighters, we will ship those off to the other bases to serve as replacements to their Condors. But, with the fact that we just sort of do hand-me-downs for our stuff, one of these bases is basically going to be left with just the Condors, and that's probably going to be the Indochina base, if I had to make a guess. North Africa will send its shit off to our base in Cuba. The base in Cuba, if it ever ends up having hand-me-downs to actually give away, it'll send those off to the Indochina base. But yeah, so that's going to be it for this part. I will see you all next time. A quick reminder, if you enjoy this series or any other series on the channel, the 2 major ways to support the channel are going to be via Patreon or Streamlabs. If you go Patreon, you get some goodies such as early access to videos. While if you go Streamlabs, you don't get any goodies, you just get the good feeling that more of whatever money you give to the channel actually is used by the channel. Because Patreon takes a 5% cut. So if you go that route, 5% of whatever is given will be taken by Patreon themselves, and then I get whatever is left over. Which, I mean, 5% with a decent amount of support is not that bad, realistically. But yeah, so I will see you all next time. Until then, goodbye and farewell.